All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Fruits Basket, Season 3, Episode 12. Holy shit.
Penultimate episode.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
The fact that we're so close to the end, I'm just like, I'm not ready for this show to go, but at the same time,
We'll get more content later. Apparently there's a movie.
There is a movie, apparently.
That is
but
totally
also
canon.
it's something where, given the fact that we've been getting so much win, you know, in the last couple episodes, like... Yeah, exactly. Like, I can't remember the last time in Fruits Basket that I was so, like, elated without that little bit of, like hesitancy and fear of, like, are they gonna pull something on us?
I think the last time I felt that was the beach arc and the beginning.
Yeah.
When there wasn't any worry about someone coming in and crashing the party.
Indeed.
And it was just like,
Right.
So, now, let's fucking go. Let's go. We've got Kyo breaking the bracelet.
Yeah.
We've got the family reassembling around Toru. We've got Toru and Akito having their little reconciliation here. We had the lore. We had Akito feeling the weight of the curse and the bonds breaking, dissolving, gone. And now it's a whole new world.
It is indeed.
So y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. All right, everyone, now be sure to go check out the reaction portion of the video in the description below, then come back here for the discussion. Happy endings all around. It's ones that I'm kind of impressed that they chose this trio of couples. I really liked that. I really liked that in some ways Shigure and Akito's was rather quick. Like, it was very simple and straightforward.
Yeah,
there was a lot, maybe, you know, to it that was getting resolved kind of underneath the surface.
Right, a lot of...
But, yeah.
As far as the couples that we had in this episode, that was the one where we know the characters in the couple the least, I would say. So the exact dynamics of how it would go down, especially combined with the fact that there was a lot of tension with that couple in particular in the past, you know, like, we know less about that one. That's more of a, you know, leave it up to the imagination. But, okay, here we are.
Toru,
this
Kyo
is beautiful.
Are going off on a trip to a dojo that is probably off in, like, who knows
crack middle of nowhere.
Yeah, probably not even in Japan. Like,
it
could be in a different country.
Sure.
I also am really excited about the way in which Yuki and Machi's kind of romantic declaration of not just feelings, but, like, they're with each other, you know, all the way. And Yuki being kind of a surrogate stand-in for Toru, as Machi wanted to thank her for basically helping him be able to be the person that would see her and find her, is just beautiful. That's poetry, because in some ways Toru and Yuki found each other in their own unique ways as well over the course of seasons 1 and 2. And now having this come all the way around to where Yuki found himself and then found Machi, and basically was Toru in some ways to Machi.
Sure.
In a way that Machi almost even recognized because of probably the conversations that Yuki had with her.
Right. It's something where these characters have had an effect on each other, and a profound effect. Right. Exactly. Yeah. So you know, it's saying it's a blessing, almost a miracle. Yes, that is the perfect way to say it.
That's the best part of the human experience, is the ways in which the connections of love and joy pass along the relational barriers to people that you wouldn't even necessarily expect and might never ever understand truly the mechanisms that brought it there, because when it comes down to it, a lot of this stuff just is based on the slight bit of desire, call it selfishness, if you will, of just one person being like, hey, I want you. I choose you. I will always choose you. I want to protect you. I want to be there for you. And that desire, that raw, just it's just so beautiful.
I love how it's framed as almost a supernatural thing in this, when we are literally dealing with the actual supernatural thing disappearing.
Right.
Like, there
what remains, if
right.
you will. Yeah.
Well, what remains, but also it's a trope in storytelling, almost to the point potentially of being a cliche, that, you know, the real magic is the magic of the heart, right? But
totally.
the thing is that you can say that in a very trite way, and it's still good. But how do you communicate what that means?
How do you show it?
How do you show it? How do you put it on display so that it isn't just a cute saying, and it actually, the full weight and ramifications of it get communicated in no uncertain terms.
It becomes a feeling, and it becomes something that goes beyond words.
Exactly.
Thus, we then have these three couples being shown in their unique ways here. We have all three of them basically admitting to themselves that they're selfish.
Right.
They're kind of respective, you know, main characters in the couple, if that makes sense. And then going from there to having them each basically pledging to each other that, oh, I want you. Right. I will be with you. I will go through this with you. Like, I loved the way in which Shigure was like, so this is what you signed me up for.
A little mad.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess that's gonna suck, but
right. And the, like, because Shigure and Akito's, like, coupling, I feel like that's one that could theoretically, you could spend a whole arc of an anime on, right?
Sure.
Because it's such a messy relationship with so much baggage and so much, like, just past shit to deal with. But
because they're going to share that burden together.
They're going to share it together, but also, and I would say this is one of the most important things about how it was showcased, is that we have the scene of Akito leaving, with Shigure kind of like, in an antagonistic sort of way, like prompting it, you know? And then later, Akito returns, right?
And then before that, even there, we had showing a point where Shigure gave the gift of the kimono and all that.
Right.
When the yukata, and then leaving, basically being like, you know where I'll be. Yeah. And if you come to me, you know what that
the
means.
kind of person that I am. So there's no, you know, there's no facade or misconception or whatever. Yeah. But then when we see Akito return to Shigure, it's after dealing with the Soma family, not just apologizing and trying to have that be something where it's all glossed over. No. It's that an apology wouldn't even be worth doing at this point.
In some ways, I liked that you could almost feel the mangaka being like, I cannot have Akito say just, I'm sorry.
Right.
Because that has all this connotation of the, oh, I just apologize and everything's great.
It's like, no.
That's not how family works.
Well, right.
You have to put in the work. You have to take responsibility. So Akito basically saying, I will continue to be the head of the family. I'm going to continue living here. Implying, I'm going to build this family. I'm going to make this work. But I also know my limits. So she goes to Shigure. Hey.
Right.
Basically, I need to do this with you.
So something else that I think is kind of wonderful that's kind of in tandem with that is, if you think about it, I'm sorry. Yes, there's all the things that go along with that.
Right.
In like real relationships where what Akito did is a good move, right?
Sure.
There's also the idea of writing conventions. And one of the things that you don't want to do is follow cliches unless it really needs to be that way.
For sure.
And so both I'm sorry and I love you are things that can go into that. Yeah. And I think it's pretty wonderful that, yes, while like Kyo and Toru have said that they loved each other, that was when it was done, it was ancillary to everything else that had been said, right? That fully showcased that. Yeah. With Yuki and Machi, I don't believe that was even actually said, right? And because that's that. To say it in that would be the thing that you would expect in this kind of situation. And so then it would be possible for the audience to then be losing out on the uniqueness of the dynamic between these two characters, because then there's potential association with all the other times that you have like a I love you confession in anime, right? So then we end up getting all these other beautiful things being said, and it's wonderful and it's unique and it's fantastic. But then in the case of with Shigure and Akito specifically says, I love you, right? Something that you would not necessarily expect in a situation with this kind of dynamic between these characters and the history that they have and things like that. So instead then of it being something where it's the climactic resolution of something that had been built up to. Instead, in this case, it is done as a choice and a beginning, right?
Yeah.
Of this is my decision, and this is the path that I choose to walk, right? Coming from that place of strength, which is what you would need in order for something like this to really feel satisfying. Because you would, because with all of the baggage and things like that, you want to be able to have a sense of assuredness that this is going to be a new beginning. It is going to be a fresh start. It's not going to fall back into old habits. And given that there is a very limited amount of time to showcase all the stuff that's happening here, because we're coming up on the end of the series, having something like, I love you, that's such a wonderful way to do it. So, rant over. I loved the way in which particular phrases were said and not said in this episode. I think it was beautifully done. And so, thank you, Fruits Basket.
Yeah, thank you, Fruits Basket.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, they can do whatever they want with the final episode. I would say saying goodbye to Kyo and Toru and having a big party and having maybe like a little bit of everyone's assembled in the same place to kind of have that big, group shot kind of moment would be wonderful. It also has the, familial kind of, trope of basically just bringing everyone together for the meal, the final, thing.
The final banquet.
The final banquet, yeah. And now, because they're planning to basically not only go off together, but they're planning to spend the rest of their lives together. There's also grounds potentially for a, maybe a wedding, maybe something.
Hey,
we'll see.
If they do a Where Are They Now time skip, that could be the event that they come back to post time skip, where it's the Kyo and Toru are getting married.
I want to throw out there, I don't think that's what it is.
Oh, yeah?
I think that's probably what the movie will end up being at this point.
Okay, if we got somehow a movie entirely dedicated to just like
a wedding,
wouldn't that
be fucking awesome?
I would squee so hard.
Yeah, I could also see it being more of like a prequel thing where it's not literally after this moment here,
right?
But I have to say the choice to have Toru's mom be the focus of like the last 5 minutes of the episode of hearing her dying thoughts and everything, giving more context again as to why in the fuck would she ever say I'll never forgive you
right
to Kyo, scaring him even more.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah, but also in that respect, having her wish finally come true in that her dying desires was just, I wanted to be there for you so much more. So someone, anyone out there, please. And then she remembers all the time that she spent with Kyo, all the time that she basically communicated that love that she has for Toru to Kyo. That survived all the shit that Kyo went through. And like the hat was passed on to him eventually. And, while this might be his last curse that he's free from, the recontextualization of this, I like that we as the audience get this extra perspective that none of them will ever have. Right. This is just for us.
Right. Regardless of what Toru's mom was thinking, Kyo had to resolve that. Right.
Yeah. And the fact that Toru basically said, you took off the bracelet on the one arm that was binding you. I'm going to take off the other one that's invisible. And I'm just going to let you know that when you see me, you don't have to be reminded of my mother dying there on the street because you're doing essentially the thing that, it has nothing to do with his actions. No, it has nothing in common about that. It's just that, no, that's not who my mom was.
And if she were here,
from that.
if she were alive right now, she'd be fist bumping you.
Yeah.
Just like she did back then.
Yeah.
God, the fist bump image, that I love it so much.
It's some classic animation.
Well, it's classic anime shit, but also in the particular context that this is in. Because when I think of fist bumps,
he was a little kid.
He was a little kid, exactly. Yeah. And when I think of fist bumps, that's something that's done between peers.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's the
brother thing.
Yeah, it's the brother thing. It's the nice job, fist bump, right? Yeah, exactly. So to have Toru's mom, who is a total badass, by the way, and just awesome and all that stuff,
right?
To then give Kyo the fist bump when he's young, very much not at the peer level traditionally, has had an absolute shitty life of everybody telling him that he's worthless and all of this stuff and all of this unbelievable shit, right? No. Fist bump. Yeah.
And I liked that while this is kind of like a final prayer of sorts from Toru's mom, this is something that was maybe the last miracle, if you will.
Sure.
Was that something that seemed like a curse, to just bring another parallel into this here.
I like it. I like it.
You know, tethered her to Kyo.
Yeah.
And he dragged her along with him all this time. Was snapped finally by the miracle that is Toru. And not only was necessarily just, you know, just snapped, but also transmuted into an actual like blessing, a thing of like, no, you did it. You did exactly what I prayed you would do.
Right.
You now have taken my precious little daughter and have guarded her heart and will love her and care for her in the way that I never could. And thus the elements of which I was getting a vibe of maybe in a harder terms of sense because I didn't understand the way they were going to utilize the Zodiac. In some ways, Kyo was the continuation of Toru's mom, the orange hair, the same kind of brash energy, all that, and is now basically alongside her.
Not in any literal sense, but thematically, absolutely, yeah.
So, all right,
yeah, that's good. That's good.
But this episode just feels perfectly set up to now have a really good ensemble finale.
Yes.
Or they don't want to do that. They can just have a big "Where Are They Now" episode. And either one is
plenty.
With.
I think we could totally get both with like the first half for the like a goodbye and all sorts of things like that.
Oh, we get both. I will.
And then the second half for Where Are They Now?
God, I would be so happy.
If we do, but at the same time, if we get a full episode of Where Are They Now? What?
What did I do to deserve this? Yeah, exactly. But, all right, y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yes, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.